Please find your seat. The program will begin shortly. Please take your seats. The program will begin momentarily. The program is about to begin. Please take your seats. The program will begin momentarily. The program is about to begin.
Welcome to Hold These Truths, a celebration of American song. Please welcome to the stage pianist and curator Laura Downs, with special guests Nathaniel Rateliff, Valerie June, Joshua Redman, Wyatt Ellis, and Layla McCullough.
Thank you. Thank you so much. 1964, not a great year in this country, and Paul Simon took a road trip, and he wrote this song about looking for America. And I think that's what we're all doing this time. That's certainly what we do in our music, and I'm so glad to be here in this world of ideas and to have these friends with me. And we really do represent pretty well many parts of the American landscape. And we come from many different places: New Orleans, Knoxville, Tennessee, Berkeley, California, Nashville, Denver, and I don't know where I'm from anymore. But we have some very ambitious goals this evening. We're going to take you through 250 years of American history in music. And we may skip a few things. But we kind of want to show you this story of American music, how it has been here since before the beginning of this country, how it keeps changing and evolving and telling our story in such a true and beautiful way. So I think we should start as close to the beginning as we can. Some of the first music that was created on this soil was music of enslaved Africans, which gave root and rise to so many other traditions. So let's start there with a song that you may know. It's called Wade in the Water.
Wade in the water, wade in the water, children.
Thank you. The thing is about these songs and about all the music at the beginning is things changed so fast. So these old sorrow songs just moved through the 19th century and into the 20th. That was an arrangement by a composer named Margaret Bonds, who was working in Chicago in the 1930s through 60s. And she was, classically trained, of course, and took this material and turned it into something new, and that's what happens over and over again. And so when we were talking about how do we get through these 250 years, obviously we can't stop everywhere along the way, but I think that the point is that momentum and that migration that caused so much change from the very beginning. And Layla's going to share with us something that sort of illustrates all of the change and evolution and rapid transformation that was happening in New Orleans. But tell us a little bit about the song.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. It's lovely to be here with all of you, all these amazing people on stage. I never thought that playing the banjo, I'm actually a classical cellist, so to be here with a banjo, I'm like, wow, the banjo has taken me so far. And I'm very proud to be here with this banjo. I play a tenor banjo that, I started playing tenor banjo in New Orleans thinking I'm gonna learn New Orleans jazz. And I love traditional New Orleans jazz and I love New Orleans music. And I've come to understand that New Orleans music, is such a reflection of really the world that made New Orleans. In fact, there's a book called The World That Made New Orleans that really inspired me because it talks so much about the Haitian Revolution, and my family's from Haiti, and Haiti was the first independent black nation in the Western Hemisphere, the first nation to establish its sovereignty on the abolition of slavery. And so what does that mean for me, as a musician in 2026? I've spent a lot of time looking for old Creole songs, not just from Haiti, but from Louisiana, and kind of piecing together the story of migration from what was then the island of Saint-Domingue to Louisiana. And what gets left out of the story is that there was this huge mass migration during the Revolution in the late 1700s, so maybe that's even going back a little bit further. But my point is that the songs, we'll never exactly know, what language, which pieces of the language were translated. There's 7 different types of Creole in the world, and Haitian Creole is one of them. Louisiana Creole is another one. So I'm gonna play you a sort of a hybridized version of a very well-known Creole song called Et là-bas. The version I play, I learned from a woman named Lizzie Miles, who recorded this in the 1940s, which I learned today is actually when this song started to become more commercialized. It is a sing-along, so I'm going to invite you to sing with me. And it's very easy. We're going to sing, Et là-bas, Et là-bas, Et là-bas, chien, comment ça va? You nailed it. We're going to do that so many times. Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, chien, comment ça va? Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, chien, comment ça va? Mon chère cousine, ma chère cousine, moi j'aime la cuisine. Mon manger plein, mon boire du vin, et ça pas coûte à rien. Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, chien, comment ça va? Yo tué cochon, yo tué lapin, et mon manger plein. Yo fait gombo, mon manger trop, et ça fait mon malade. Et là-bas, et là-bas, Et là-bas, cher, comment ça va? M'en aller à la halle pour acheter saucisson cochon. Non, toi, tu n'as pas de saucisson cochon, mais dans mes saucissons piment. Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, cher, comment ça va? Tu connais Madame Joséphine? Elle vient dériver sur la route Dauphine. Madame Angote est sur la rue Congo, tombée cassée sur Grand Zozo. Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, cher, comment ça va? Et là-bas, et là-bas, et là-bas, cher, comment ça va? I go, I go, I go, I go one day. Jacques mon fino anane, Jacques mon finane. I go, I go, I go, I go one day. Jacques mon fino anane, Jacques mon finane. Thank you.
So everything's coming together in this musical gumbo, right? And like jazz is bubbling under the surface. But one of the fastest stories in American music is ragtime, which was like 5 minutes. And this starts in the late 19th century, and it just kind of like passes. It's this sort of meeting place of these African rhythms and European salon music, and then jazz takes over really fast. So it's over by the early 1920s. You may have heard of Scott Joplin, born in Texarkana. His great ambition was actually to be a classical composer, and his life was sad because that ambition wasn't realized. But he became known as the king of ragtime. And a few years ago, I was making a Joplin recording. And there is one iconic Joplin tune, which you all know, and you probably have played quite badly on the piano. And it's called The Entertainer. And I was like, what do I do with The Entertainer? And I'm looking at my music one day, and on the score, it says, dedicated to James Brown and his mandolin orchestra. Not that James Brown, clearly. And also, what is a mandolin orchestra? And it turns out that this was a thing. German immigrants had these mandolin orchestras, and they would tour around, and so I decided to invite the mandolin into The Entertainer. And luckily for me, I met this very fine mandolin player about a year ago when I was in Tennessee. So we're going to do a strange and surprising version of The Entertainer for you. Wyatt is 17. You're 17, right?
I am, yes.
We have all these stringed instruments on the stage, and they really tell the story of American music. They came here from so many different places and have themselves evolved. So I'm going to ask all of you who have your stringed instruments to tell us a little bit about what they can do and where they come from.
Yeah? Want me to start? Well, so the mandolin originally, like you mentioned, it started over in Italy, and there were bullback mandolins, and they had mandolin orchestras. And that became a craze, in the early, 20th century. And there was a mandolin orchestra group in Italy, and it was called the Spanish Students. And that was just, a complete novelty act. And from there, the mandolin got brought over by immigrants. And in the 1920s, a man named Bill Monroe found one and created what we now know as bluegrass music. But in between then, the immigrants in the mountains, they played old-time fiddle tunes on the mandolin, and it just became, just the instrument that we know today.
Want to show us a little something that it can do?
I might as well, yeah. Play a little bit of an old Irish fiddle tune that kind of came along with the mandolin, and Bill Monroe eventually found it, and it's just become a standard tune over here now. It's called Patty on the Turnpike.
Wyatt, I think you should revive the mandolin orchestra. I think it is high time that somebody brought it back.
Yeah, maybe.
Wyatt Ellis and his mandolin orchestra. We were backstage in the green room, and all of these instruments just started jamming, and I felt very left out because that's the beauty of these instruments. They just carry the music with them.
This is a tenor banjo, as I mentioned before. Very different than five-string banjo or plectrum banjo. There's all these different kinds of banjos. Or that little banjo. I, first encountered this instrument in New Orleans, and, it's my understanding in general that the tenor banjo was the kind of the drum, the rhythm section in old brass bands, but, probably hundreds of years before that, it was an instrument in West Africa that came here, through slavery, and obviously has been updated with metal strings, originally gut strings and a goat skin head, yeah, and I'll play a little New Orleans tune called Sweet Substitute.
Show us the baby banjo.
I love the tone of that. This is the baby, and I play also a 5-string banjo, and it's very big, so that's why this is the baby, because that's the mama. And the baby was given to me by a friend, and when I received the baby, I thought, well, I'm not doing anything with that. That's just the toy. And so it sat around. I don't know if any of y'all have an instrument that you promised yourself you'd learn to play one day. It's getting dusty. Well, the baby got dusty, and then one day I came home, and I had brought the mama banjo and the acoustic guitar and electric guitar, and the baby was like, I want to sing. And so she said she could sing like Beyonce or Aretha, and I was like, okay, then, we going on the road. So the baby comes originally from Hawaii, and as Layla was saying, West Africa, the drum of the baby is a banjo head. And so the bright tone is really what I love about it, how it has the bright tone of a banjo, but also like the ease of a ukulele. I'll play you a traditional song that was originally written by a man named Leadbelly. And the baby loves playing old songs.
I think Jimi Hendrix invented it first in the mid-'60s. I mean, he was touring with some other cats before that, but clearly. I don't know, did it originate in Spain? Anybody else know? Thanks. I don't want to speak out of, I can't swear, but yeah, so this is one of the instruments I play. I would say guitar is my primary instrument, but I started off on drums, and they have been around for as long as hands have been, I feel like. But I think of this instrument as a tool. And for a songwriter, the tool can be the piano or whatever resonates with you. I particularly think the instruments carry the magic of the previous owner. So I like to find the ones that speak to me. And you can do anything on this, you know? You can tune it like a banjo. It would be tough to tune it like a uke, but I'm sure, you know. And you can double up the strings on some of them like a mandolin. But I think one of the things that I always resonate with anytime I pick up a guitar is just play the C chord shape. Guitar is an E instrument, but for whatever reason, the C always resonates with me. And C chord, C, F, and G, if you're, that can be anything from, Hank Williams to old traditional songs. Those chords are everywhere. And if you're somebody like John Prine, you can write hundreds of songs with a capo and the C and G and F chords. So here's a little bit of a John Prine song. Why not,
Today I walk down the street I used to walk. I scratched my head and I made myself a bed. There was all these things that I don't think I remember. Yeah, I have mercy.
I want to just take a minute and introduce everybody again. This was such a pleasure for me to curate this concert and just think about all the different musical languages that could be part of this evening. Layla and I this is Layla McCalla. We've been friends for a minute, and you're such a broad and diverse musician, and like me, you wiggled your way out of the classical space to do all kinds of interesting things. So thank you for being here, Wyatt. I met Wyatt about a year and a half ago at the Big Ears Festival in Knoxville. Yeah, and we've done already a few things together, and I've now kidnapped him, and I've taken him on the road, and he's coming with me to New York next week to play at Lincoln Center. This is Joshua Redman, who's a Bay Area kid like me. Valerie June, with her big diamonds. And Nathaniel Rateliff. And when I was looking through Valerie's opus on the YouTube, there was this one song that I just needed you to do. So I asked, and you said yes. And this song doesn't need an introduction, so please.
I'd love to read you a poem before I play this song. And when I was little, my grandmother and my mother used to say, when we wake up in the morning, you get a blank page, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. Do y'all believe it? This part of the room does. The rest is like, I don't know. I ain't got no ideas about that. But see, the thing is, you can paint it any color of the rainbow you want to paint it. And I believe it so strongly still, but it's dimmed a little bit for me as I've gotten older. So I have to work on it to wake up and believe in my magic and my wonder and imagination and beauty and our ability to create this world. And so this poem is about that, but the song I'm going to play is from an artist that was one of America's finest artists. And whenever he played this song, he entered through the back of the venue, oftentimes because of the color of his skin. I walk through the front of this venue and many venues, every venue, because I'm pretty. No, because people believed in a beautiful world. And they worked hard and they worked together every single day so that I can live so free. And I do not take that shit for granted. And so, they say in this poem, you only have one day till the moonrise, sunset down, only one day before the sunrise, moonset round. What will you do and where will you be found? Who will you be? Leave the earth-wrapped love spellbound. See, you only have 1 hour before the stars shine midnight blue, just a single hour till the clear sky morning dew. How will you face this bright day pathway new, and what words to write on the blank page lying beneath you? What will be said of your stargaze-like ship eyes, and what could be heard of your bird flight cross blue skies? Well, who would have seen your moon glow night dance twirls, and who would have guessed you'd sketch a rainbow painted world? Well, I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the brightness of day and the darkness of night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Well, the colors of the rainbow so pretty
songs, they are such gifts to us. Nathaniel and I participated in the opening session, and there are so many ideas here, right? And there's so much to think about. There are so many issues of our time and of the past that we're grappling with. And I think as musicians, we are acutely aware of the time travel that we do and that our music does. That song to me is such an example of a song that had a specific life, and it has moved. I mean, how many film scores and TV commercials has that song been in? And I think to each one of you, that song means something unique and specific and personal. So I love the way you do that song. And then Joshua and I were talking, so then that song brings us back to Louis Armstrong and the Louis Armstrong legacy and jazz. And I have these texts on my phone from one night when we were going way too deep in our heads about this. And I'm like, quick, Josh, what's like the most iconic song of the Great American Songbook? and that went deep. But it's interesting because I don't think Louis Armstrong would think of this song as his main legacy.
No, I don't think so. I mean, it was one of his later hits, right? I mean, I think it was recorded in '67 or something like that. So he was already the greatest jazz. He basically invented the jazz vernacular and what it meant to be a jazz soloist. And he was probably by that time, I think there was a point at which he was the most well-known human being in the world. And I think he was already that. So this is very, very late in his oeuvre, right? And also, I think without getting too deep, we don't have our text, yeah, but I mean, the history of the song is pretty complex because it was released he recorded it in 1967, in a period, I mean, you said 1964 was a tough year for this country. I mean, 67 was as well, and just in terms of the social and political turmoil going on. And this was a song of well, yeah, I mean, a celebration of what's wonderful in the world and great optimism and great beauty. But I think at the time, some folks received it as being not meeting the moment.
Tone deaf.
Right? Yeah. And so I think there was some amount of controversy around the song. I mean, now we just know it as this beautiful song, which it was, But I think, American music, and maybe in particular Black American music, can contain so many complexities, so many emotional complexities. Like the spirituals, I mean, we heard when Layla was singing, there's so much great, there's great suffering in them, but also this incredible resilience and hope and joy. And I think that emotional capaciousness and also that ability to hold these two very, very different experiences is what makes American music so powerful in so many ways.
I've been thinking about this a lot, and I've realized something. This is true. If you look back, all of these joyful, happy, beautiful songs, they all were created in really hard times. I mean, the Great American Songbook basically came to be during the Great Depression and the war years. Somewhere Over the Rainbow was written in really hard times, this song also. And I think I'm understanding that this is part of the job, maybe, is that the job of music is always to inject and insist upon optimism and give people the energy and the possibility of imagining that, the sun will come up tomorrow.
And I think, I will play, by the way.
Yeah.
But I think, optimism in the face of adversity and optimism through affirmation through the recognition of adversity, that is kind of the blues, right?
Yes, yeah, and it's radical.
I also see the song as a call to action. It's not just saying this is a wonderful world. It's like you, and me, and me, and me, and me, and we, and they.
You got to make it wonderful,
are the
right?
ones who create the wonderful world. So it's definitely controversial because it's like, are you ready? Are you ready to be the one?
Yeah, good. Well, we're going to play it for you again.
Are you ready for the only non-string instrument here? I'm such the imposter. Can I just strap a string on the saxophone? Well, you're already playing the. I was going to say it was the tenor band, the banjo tenor, the banjo phone.
And then after the long string of texts, after which we decided not to pick the one iconic song of the Great American Songbook, I think Joshua made a decision. So we're going to play this together, and then I'm going to have Joshua share his musicianship all by himself. Joshua Redman. So I guess the point is, the past brings us to the present, and the present takes us to the future, and all of the music that we know, and we've all been playing music our whole lives, and all of it is our foundation for building something new, whether that's your interpretation tonight of Stardust, which has never been exactly that way before.
No, thankfully. Yeah, I mean, that's, as a jazz musician, our stock and trade is basically just making mistakes every night, figuring out how to get out.
No. I know this because Monty Alexander said this once in a master class for a classical pianist who wanted to try to play jazz. He said the first thing you need to know about jazz is there are no wrong notes.
Yes, you're always a half step away on the right. So you have to find the most artful way to get to it.
I always say if you play something wrong, I just say it's pretty jazzy.
Thanks, Nathaniel.
I would say it about myself.
Anyway, we're going to end with two songs that are firmly of today, two original songs. And I think they're both songs that really speak to building a next chapter in America, which is what we are on the eve of doing. So, yeah, Valerie, tell us a little bit about, or not, or just play. I find this song so meaningful and so moving.
Well, I think it came to me after a conversation with the mindfulness leader, John Kabat-Zinn, and we talked, and that evening I received this song, and it starts with entering the science of my mind, and I was like, science, that's a very strange word to have in a song, but when I listen to it, then I just, think about how creating this world, that it can be so hard to live magically and to believe in beauty and to focus on optimism and positivity in these dark times. And so one thing you gotta do is go blind, jump in, and trust the path. I can't tell when it's on, but I know I don't hear it up here. There we go.
of my mind, never wavering, awake and shine, sitting with the deepest hue of blue. Let the waves of silence pull me through, staring through the windows of those rooms, going places only I can go. Yes, I will meet you there, but where can I see you? Back to take and only point the way. You gotta trust the path, I'll only point the way. You gotta trust the path, I'll only point the way. You gotta trust the path, I'll only point the way. Trust the path, I'll only point the way. Promise me you venture towards unknown. Every step a new discovery shown. What can be sees all that's ever be here. I can only point the way for you, my friend. You gotta trust the path, I'll only point the way. Oh, trust the path, I'll only point the way. You gotta trust the path, I'll only point the way. Trust the path, I'll only point the way. When you're down, 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 down. Yes, I am entering the silence of my mind, never wavering, awake and shine, sitting with the deepest hue of blue. Let the waves of silence pull me through.
Valerie June.
All right. All right, well, this song that I'm going to play for you all, actually, I was asked to write for a film. And I found the film was about a young non-binary boy, or boy, I blew that. Sorry, that's my Missouri upbringing coming out, I guess. Which is also why I related to the film. It was set in rural America, and the young child was growing up in poverty, and he becomes a very unlikely person comes into his life who is a man that just gets out of prison and becomes this young child's caretaker and helps him understand their self and what their journey is, and allows this young child to be whatever they want to be, which is hard to do in rural America, and it's hard to do anywhere. And so, yeah, the song just kind of came to me, but I related to the child and growing up in poverty, and also there's an opportunity for us all to change and to have growth. And not all villains are villains. And so I think, yeah, this song's called Redemption. I don't know what else to say about it. That's about it. So here we go. Now wait for the mic to get set up as well. It's really a pleasure to be up here with all these fantastic musicians, by the way. And fun to sit in a room and make noise together randomly is always. Music's another language, and it's another way that expresses humanity outside of ourselves. And our jobs as musicians and artists is to interpret the world we see. So in this song, I feel like I was trying to interpret the world that this young child was growing up in and the way this man was changing as well. And in all of that, I also saw in myself something where there was room to grow. And that is also the evolution of the human experience, is there really is no end, there is no arrival. And our awareness is only where we are that day and that moment. And hopefully that continues to grow. So there we go. And the hours that I've known, when I'm old and my woes, all it costs to lay you low. What a man they turn to hope. Just set me free. Just set me free. Just set me free. As it takes its hold, and it won't let you go. I'm reminded of the cold. I was taking so much from me. Are you worthy of being saved? All your fears and insecurity, just set me free. Just set me free. Just set me free. Just set me free. And there's nowhere to hide, and you're only just trying, 'cause there only just lies, yeah. While redemption seems far away, I'm storming through every day. Just set me free. Just set me free. Just set me free. Yeah. Just set me free. Keep running till we learn to find peace. Just set me free. Keep running till we learn to find peace. Just set me free. Keep running till we learn to find peace. Just set me free. Keep running till we learn to find peace. Just set me free. Thank you.
Daniel Rateliff. We have one more song that we'd like to share with you. This theme of redemption, I know it goes all the way back. One of our oldest songs, a song that predates that signing of that Declaration of Independence, was written just a few years before that, and it has redemption at its core, and it's the song that has traveled, I think, the most deeply through our American story. It gets handed off among traditions and among generations, and it surfaces when we need it the most. We're going to close with Amazing Grace, and we would love to invite you to sing with us. But before we do that, because I think we're going to be in a mood after that, I just want to thank all of these beautiful musicians for joining me tonight. Y'all are wonderful. I want to thank everyone here at Aspen Ideas. We've been working together so closely. I feel like I'm part of the family, and it's been just a joy to collaborate, and it's a joy to be here, and I hope it's the first of many visits for me. And I'm supposed to tell you that you can go watch the World Cup in the Marble Garden after this. And please come back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. I'm doing a talk with Eddie Glaude, who I think is here, about 250 years of history. We're going to be talking about his wonderful new book, America, USA, and just looking at the way that music has surfaced all through this long history of ours. So please sing along if you'd like to sing along. And thank you for coming tonight.